Thank you all so much once again for tuning in. Please remember to hashtag release the Snyder Cut, hashtag Zack Snyder's Justice League, hashtag release the Ayer Cut, hashtag Alita Army, hashtag the Alita sequel, and finally hashtag release the Kimberg Cut. And remember to never retreat nor surrender, and that men are indeed still good. Anyways, today's video will be covering why 214 matters to people everywhere. 214 as in the 214 minutes, or the 3 hours of Justice League that was disturbingly shrunken and tarnished to 2 hours of Justice League, featuring the Russian actors that literally lived in the middle of nowhere. I don't know what else to say that hasn't been said, repeated, or heard already, but I'll do it anyway. For myself, I saw both Man of Steel and Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, and genuinely to this day still have a deep admiration for them as films. I saw Suicide Squad and still enjoyed it for what it was, but it was clear that David Ayer had different plans than what we saw in the final product. We live in this privileged era of being able to access everything online, but unfortunately we also live in an era where the internet can seriously do some unfortunate damage to the reputation of filmmakers, and even more so, affect the thoughts of moviegoers everywhere. This has very much so, and unfairly so, been the case in the early days of what we used to call the DCEU before the side order of DC Black came around. Zack Snyder's vision for Man of Steel is something I will have no problem defending because, as I stated, I genuinely believe it is a rousing movie, as is BVS. Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL both have accomplished wonders in regards to the score, and I suspect that Junkie XL's contributions to 214 are insanely epic in ways our ears have never heard. What happens is as follows. Man of Steel came soaring high and fly into theaters back in 2013. Then Batman v Superman was released in 2016. Even with the unusual negativity that surrounded these movies, there were fans everywhere that voiced their support for these films, and likewise, this has continued even now into 2020. With Zack Snyder set to helm Justice League, an unfortunate set of circumstances that occurred both in Zack's private life and behind the scenes at WB led to most of us witnessing a 2-hour watered down and disturbingly CGI-wrenched episode that was clearly out of line with what Zack Snyder intended. Not only were significant storylines altered, this being confirmed by numerous Justice League actors and Zack himself, but there was certainly clear aim to make Justice League something it certainly was not. Now, years later, it seems that the world is just waiting for the announcement to be made, and rightfully so. 214 isn't just a number, it means something to people everywhere. To the person who saw a man take his first flight in Man of Steel, to the women who felt empowered by Wonder Woman's electrifying debut in Batman v Superman, to the group of guys who felt like they too can be and are warriors because they see themselves in Leonidas and the Spartans, to the person that feels like nothing is out of the realm of possibility thanks to a character leaving such a significant mark just like Baby Doll, and to the person who believes that out of the darkest of darkness, redemption and goodness can and will ultimately prevail, like Bruce Wayne in Batman v Superman. These are just some of the reasons why 214 matters to people everywhere. Even as the crusade for Zack Snyder's Justice League continues, many have found ways to be heroes in his or her own way. This is why I said back in November that the Snyder Cut movement is indeed the greatest movement of all time, with a bunch of exclamation points at the end. And in the end, it is on us to continue proving it. Is it any surprise that other hashtags and similar campaigns have begun as a result? 214 is important because Zack Snyder's Justice League shows us the power of working together to defeat Darkseid, or in this case WB, the bloggers, the blue checks, and the detractors that dare say give up. I don't feel sympathy for them because they don't understand. I feel sympathy for these type of individuals because they likely don't have something that inspires them the way that Zack Snyder's films have touched each and every one of us. For someone to suggest that the Snyder Cut fan base is quote-unquote small or quote-unquote insignificant, I asked them why were so many celebrities and others tweeting the hashtag along with us last November. 214 matters because WB released an epic trailer, and the end result was a highly reshot film that let us all down and was quite frankly false advertising. WB didn't release at the time that there was a finish line with a longer time and more to be gained. Panic and greed caused 214 to become 120, 94 minutes less, and nothing like it was supposed to be. 214 matters for Ray Fisher, Gal Gadot, Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, Ray Porter, Joe M., Ciaran Hinds, Jason Momoa, Ezra Miller, Kiersey Clemens, Harry Lennox, J.K. Simmons, Amy Adams, and everyone else who worked on the movie. 214 matters because to us, doing right by Zack Snyder and his family and his fan base is better than what WB allowed to happen in regards to not just the movie, but the narratives they allowed to run in the media. It's not just some miracle that they are passionate fans in the Snyder Cut movement. It is just a testament to the fact that Zack Snyder's movies have brought us all this far and will continue to do so. I could go on and on, even though technically I don't have a superpower, but I'll instead close out with this. Justice will be had for Zack Snyder and his family and his fans. Until WB releases it, this hashtag, nor will the other hashtags die down. Sometimes it does take a leap of faith, or in this case, bravery, hope, and courage. The great thing about these movies is that they inspired this in us all. In spite of all that we as a fandom, unit, or movement has had to endure, change is gonna come. Everyone will witness the 214.